Howdy. It's been a while, and I know all 30 of you are feeling the absolute black hole on the internet without my videos. Well, rest easy because I'm back. There have been multiple videos that I've been very slowly working on, including a sketch that hopefully someday will get finished that at least I think is funny. But the reality is that I've had a pretty horrible few years, mentally and emotionally, and creating has just felt increasingly impossible. I know the internet is supposed to be just for your life highlights, and my classic overshares undoubtedly are cringe, but I am what I am. Bye bye. And as you can probably tell, I have moved. I moved back to Colorado and have been staying with my parents. Yeah. So I guess I figured I would make a video where I just talked about what's been going on and you join me on the move. I know it's pretty pathetic for a guy in his late 30s to struggle with what his purpose in life is. There's never been anything tangible in life, or at least that I can earn money doing, that has stuck out to me as being particularly life giving or something that I am especially good at. I've always been somewhat of a jack of all trades, master of none, where I'm pretty good at a lot of things, but not great at anything. Throughout all of my 20s, I thought that I wanted to be a pastor. Worked for multiple churches. I went into debt living in multiple countries, working for nonprofits. I went to school in my late 20s and majored in biblical studies, for which I failed 2 classes in my last semester and dropped out, only 6 units short of a degree. Again, yeah. There's an incredible amount of stuff to unpack about my life in that period, and I've been writing another much longer video on my relationship with Christianity that, again, I hope will someday get finished. But that purpose was no longer reasonable to me. Then I lucked into getting asked to be on a web series with some friends and had an absolutely incredible time filming that. Check out the Beach Boys on Tubi. And there was a short stretch where I thought that I wanted to be an actor. But I never really felt like I had the talent and, more importantly, the belief in myself, so I never really pursued any other opportunities. So I spent the last 10 years just surviving as a server at a few restaurants and trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do with my life. I think the thing that brings me the most joy in life is when I make a personal connection with someone in a way that makes them feel better about themselves, their lives, or the world. When I feel like I encouraged them, motivated them, spoke truth to them that they needed to hear. And making someone laugh is genuinely the best feeling in the world. Which is the main reason that I made this channel, as a hopeful outlet for me to at least try to do all of that. But the truth is that I have been in a pretty horrible state to try to do all of that. Both with myself internally and just with everything going on in the world. It is so incredibly hard for me to not constantly feel hopeless. The destruction of Gaza and the genocide of the Palestinian people has been going on for years now, and my government and tax dollars continue to support it. Income inequality feels higher than it has ever been. Everything in life is getting more expensive, but somehow worse, while the ultra-rich are gaining even more and more at frightening speeds. Our healthcare system is completely broken. A really good friend of mine passed away a year ago after fighting cancer for almost a decade and had to fight insurance companies harder than the fucking cancer itself. Trump has our government rapidly regressing into fascism and authoritarianism while the party of small government cheers it on. Hardworking people live in fear while masked agents tear them away from their families with no due process. Federal agents are descending on cities, shooting civilians at the drop of a hat while their leader gaslights the country to thinking that entire cities are burning to the ground. Mass shootings happen seemingly daily with absolutely nothing being done about it. Countless elites and billionaires are every day being uncovered as pedophiles and sex traffickers, also with absolutely nothing being done about it. And now a new war has started with innocent civilians and children being bombed and murdered, also with my tax dollars. And if you even remotely try to resist, you have untrained and masked government agents shooting you in the fucking face. And everything is happening at such a velocity that's almost impossible not to feel hopeless to fight against it, which seems to be a part of the entire plan, to bombard us with so much that we slowly stop fucking fighting. Okay, let me breathe. But given all of that and plenty more that I didn't even mention, it feels immensely stupid to not feel hopeless about the world. And personally, it's felt equally hopeless. I've struggled with depression my entire life, and I've always had periods where it got particularly bad and I completely withdrew from life. I didn't even know what it was until I had a breakdown about 8 years ago. I had a particularly rough patch and couldn't get myself to go to class or participate in life in any meaningful way, and I failed my last 2 courses before graduation. A lot was going on internally, and my brain's self-defense mechanism is to just shut myself off from everything. And I felt like a complete and absolute failure and fuck up. I had let down God, my family, my friends, myself. I was worthless. Me and everyone who cared about me would be better off if I didn't exist. And I woke up every day for almost 6 months wanting to kill myself. It's all I thought about, unless I distracted myself with video games, or watching movies or TV, or when my friends forced me to hang out. With the support and encouragement of my parents, I was in therapy for about 6 months and worked through a lot of the self-hatred and loathing, much of which came from religious trauma and baggage, that made my depression exponentially worse. I am not a failure. I am not worthless. I am a human being trying his best. And my brain is not always my friend. My emotions are not always tied to truth. But it's been a slow journey of progress over the last 8 years. And a lot of times it feels like the regression happens quicker than the progression. But the last year or two have been the hardest since that period. I was completely burnt out at my previous job that I was at until moving. Unhappy, underappreciated. I stayed there for probably 2 years longer than I should have because, one, I love my coworkers, and not having a degree, I couldn't find anything better. And after hoping for a fresh start with a move home, despite what feels like hundreds of applications, emails to employers, and multiple rounds of interviews, I am still just delivering food to barely scrape by and pay my bills. I should be in therapy still and probably think about medication, but I don't have the money or health insurance to even pay for either. Hopelessness feels like it follows me like a cloud. And those thoughts of taking the quick give up option are starting to come back with frequency. To be clear, I could never and will never hurt myself, primarily because I know how unbelievably horrible that would be on my family and friends. And I adore my family and friends. I could and would never do something like that to them. But I would be lying if I didn't say that I think about it almost every day. In a world in which a man is supposed to be confident, have a family, a purpose, clear direction, make money, I am 38, single, no career. I have student debt with no degree to justify it. I can't say that I have completely moved beyond feelings of self-hatred, but I can say that while I know I am flawed in many ways, I generally like myself and who I am, which is a massive improvement from my life before I turned 30. But I have really been struggling with feeling any hope for life or desire to keep going, which I know is the horrible amalgamation of my depression with life circumstances. But there is something so soul-crushing to me about job hunting. Feeling like I have to beg and plead for a job that I don't even fucking want to do feels like some new demented form of torture. Feels like I am dropped into some sick, twisted social contract that I never even signed. My mom and dad had sex, ew. And 9 months later, I pop out and now I have to live the rest of my life doing some shitty job that I hate just to earn enough money to survive until the next month. And rinse and repeat for the next 50 years if I'm lucky, and then I die. When that horrible blanket of depression comes, just giving up entirely feels like such a sweet potential relief. But I know in my heart that depression's biggest lie is that what is today will forever be. That lie permeates everything in my life. But I don't want to listen to that lie anymore. Again, I know that this is probably incredibly cringe, and maybe I should just keep it in my journal. But I don't want to be the person that feels hopeless anymore. Tomorrow is a new day. The world will be better tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, then the next fucking day. I truly believe that most people are good, decent people, and good and decent people can change the world. They can change other people. They will win in the end. And tomorrow is a new day for me as well. The situation that I'm in now will not forever be, and I will struggle to feel that way. But I want to be a person of relentless optimism. That is the only thing I know for sure about what I want to be. I'm tired of being a negatist, as my mom used to jokingly call me. Whether I feel that way or not, I want to be a person who unceasingly hopes. And so maybe this should stay in the drafts, but maybe speaking this into the world will help make it more true to me. I want to be a man of relentless optimism, so I will be. Whether it's easy or not, I will feel hope for the future. I will no longer be burdened by hopelessness. If you're watching this, I hope you join me. Thanks for watching.